Baseball, 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 baby. It is a Tuesday, and the Major League Baseball schedule has a decent slate laid out. No afternoon games today, all the way through. Most teams have already had their home openers, or if not, they're not going to take place today, or at least not in the afternoon. Yesterday, my Philadelphia Phillies picked up a victory yesterday, but that's inconsequential. That's not what we're talking about today, even though I would like to talk major Phillies action because the Atlanta Braves not having a good open to the season. I'll tell you who is having a good open to the season. It's the New York Yankees, and it's their bats, and they're home today. Burns versus Warren. If we look at the FanDuel Sportsbook, the opening number was a minus 108 price here as a favorite towards the Yankees. Slight, if that, basically a pick 'em. And today, across the board, it still looks like it's going to be a pick 'em. 8's at the opening number for a total. Still currently sitting live at the FanDuel Sportsbook at 8 runs here. Arizona, New York Yankees. Initial thoughts for you, Mark Zinno.
I mean, I don't know how much I trust the Yankee starter, Jace Warren, tonight. That's would be the biggest concern for me. Will Warren has been bad. Corbin Burns has got plenty of experience pitching against the Yankees last year as a member of the Orioles. And if you go back to what he did last year, I feel like he was pretty successful against the Yankees. Yeah, he had a 2.45 ERA, 11 innings, gave up just 3 runs, and struck out 15. So now, granted, he didn't win either of the 2 starts he had against him. However, he can get the Yankees out. He held them to a 162 batting average again in his 11 innings of work over 2 starts. So I would, crazy as it sounds, I mean, Arizona feels like, the plus 1.5 feels like the way you'd want to go here, if you ask me.
Yeah, you're lining this up too. You look at the 8.5, which it says on the graphics, actually sitting at 8 live. Cooler temperatures here in New York City, 47 degrees at first pitch here. And obviously, it is a game that's going to take place at night. That'll probably dip a little bit lower, but it is blowing out at around 8 to 10 miles an hour to that short porch in right field. Seeing how the Yankees have attacked the baseball, particularly at home to open the season, does that give you a pause with the 8 runs at this point? Or you just figure that Burns knows the Yankees, so he'll be able to navigate. Maybe the Arizona bats will stay cool here on the East Coast?
Yeah, that, and I mean, there is some thought that there has to be some regression from the Yankees lineup after what they did against Milwaukee, right? Like, that's the anomaly. Scoring 32 runs in 2 games has little to do with torpedo bats and everything else, and other than just a strange statistical, anomaly that would come back down to earth. And that said, too, I mean, Arizona played 4 games against the Cubs, and 3 of the 4 of those had at least 8 runs or more in it, or 9 runs or more in it. So they've scored a lot of runs as well. Baseball regression is a real thing, and I know the Yankees have hit 15 home runs in their first 3 games, but I don't know that is going to continue here tonight. And so maybe just some natural regression brings it back to the pack.
Yeah, I tell you what's interesting too is because again, the Yankees bats have been absolutely on fire. Take a look. Okay, the Yankees are at home and roughly a pick 'em price, and that total's got to be high. No, it's only 8 sitting live, so that buyback here where the numbers are being trusted by the odds maker. We'll see if that holds up tonight at Yankee Stadium in New York. Now, if we go from East Coast out to West Coast, we're taking a look at the Los Angeles Dodgers with a 10-10 start, taking on the Atlanta Braves, the undefeated Dodgers and the winless Atlanta Braves. Second time around through the rotation, Chris Sale's going to get another crack at the 2025 season. This line opened up as a favorite overnight for the Dodgers at minus 122. It now sits at minus 138, so it is rising in favor for the Dodgers. Sooner than later, the Braves have to win. The question's going to be is, do the Braves actually get some base hits with runners in scoring position, score more than 1 run, which you need to take down the Dodgers? How do we feel about this line hovering under 140 here? And what to see on that graphic at a 162 price? Some violent movements this morning.
Yeah, I mean, again, you have the National League Cy Young from last year and Chris Sale and a lefty going up against a Dodgers team that is starting Dustin May. I don't know if it means anything to you about how much the carryover is. Last year, the Dodgers were number 1 in Major League Baseball in OPS and WRC plus against left-handed pitching. They absolutely tormented left-handed pitching last year. So Chris Sale, obviously a lefty, but also, again, I mean, the Braves have to win a game eventually. The smartest thing to do here is take the Braves with the plus 1.5 and hope to get out of there. Maybe the Dodgers win the thing 4-3 if the Braves don't win it outright, right? And I mean, at some point in time, the Braves plus 1.5 is going to cash here as they continue to be a dog.
Yeah, and how do you play out that? Because again, we're looking for a correction in the season for the Atlanta Braves. They're not as bad as what they're showing. They're just playing elite competition. Is that a choice where you just bet the Braves because they're getting a good number at this point? But when we say good number, like I expected, just like this morning where the Dodgers were in that 160 range, they plummeted down. So a lot of people have the same intuition, like this might be the spot where the Braves, with Sale on the mound, have a good shot at knocking off the Dodgers. But riding streaks, right? So many times you do in sports, Dodgers streaking one way, Braves the other way.
Yeah, again, sometimes you just play the number, right? What's the old adage? You play numbers, not teams. So you remove the jersey and the hat and figure out what it is and look at the number, and it should tell you everything you need to know that the Braves would be the side to play here. So it would be Atlanta or pass. I don't think you should lay with the Dodgers, certainly, and not at that price, not at minus 160. But again, how much do you trust the fact that the Dodgers, who hammer left-handed pitching, won't do the same to Chris Sale?
Yeah, anticipated starting lineup tonight there for the Dodgers: Ohtani, Betts, Fernandez, Smith, Edman, Muncy, Hernandez, Rojas, and Pajes in that lineup. And then if we take a look at the Atlanta Braves, Harris, Riley, Olson, Ozuna, Albies, Baldwin, De La Cruz, Kellenic, and Arce in the lineup tonight. Sooner than later, they have to start hitting them. Again, you're playing in ultimate, pitcher's ballpark per se. San Diego's still nice weather. We get it, but that is a pitcher's ballpark. Same thing with Los Angeles. So if you are struggling, you're going to get a really good bullpen for the Dodgers. It's just a matter of you must attack that starting pitcher. So for me, if I looked at a way to play the Braves, where it's like, okay, maybe I don't know if they win this baseball game, but I know they won't be in it unless they score runs. I haven't checked there, but their team total over the first 5 innings has to be extremely low. And that would be my attack point, where I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't say a breakout, but 2 runs by the Braves in the first inning, maybe tacking on one in the 3rd or 4th inning, 4 runs before you get to the 5th, before you get into that nasty Dodgers bullpen, might be a way to certainly play this game. But it is interesting to see that the Atlanta Braves winless on the season. The Dodgers have not having a loss on the season. This line opened up at that minus 122, minus 124 price, blasts up to the 165 range, and now dips back into the 130s here at the FanDuel Sportsbook. You're going to get that a lot early in the regular season of Major League Baseball in the month of March, and now finally into the month of April. More games to take a look at Major League Baseball on the way next, which includes Cleveland and San Diego.